Kal halayim la yahal bashim yahushai bahashim makakadash. What you see on the screen is how bad could this coronavirus get? And then I'm going to mention the World Health Organization. So how bad could this coronavirus get? I mean, Matthew 24 tells us that it's time for the pestilence and disease and famine and wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes in diverse places. So you have to think to yourself, how bad could this get? It could get real bad. It could get real bad because that article mentions 3,000 deaths. And I think 2 deaths have been in the United States. But the thing about that is, let's compare the death rate in countries that don't have the World Health Organization requested immunizations. Let's say it like that. Let's compare the two. Because the World Health Organization just barely went over to China. So they're barely getting started over there. Let's say they never had vaccines, they never wanted to start that. But let's talk about Esau. Esau has a science that he likes to mess with. He likes to inoculate children once they're born. And then what he does is experiments on them, because he has charts. Like, say if you want to have your kid go to school, they have to have immunizations, and they have to have an immunization record. And on that record it says that they don't, after they give you that shot, the next thing to happen is you got to sit there for 15 minutes, and those scientists have to study your reaction. The chemical reaction. They say adverse effects. That's what they say. Were there any adverse effects? And the answer will be written down there. That's how you know when your kid is allergic to eggs. It's because they're allergic to an immunization. They might have given them the IPV or the DTaP, and you just don't get those 3 times when you're an infant. Let's say all the shots have the same shit in them, because they all have the same shit in them, right? Different doses, different, basically same. It's a little different because when they give you the shots, they give you this amount of, they give you the TDTAP, right? And that one has polio, the hepatitis B, and this and that, and the polio. They all have it, right? But you still get individualized inoculations, right? So by the time you're out of high school, you might have gotten those shots about 20 times. All those shots, they share something in common. They have something a react that what is it called? They have to make sure that doesn't react with you in a negative way. So they keep giving it to you. So shit like this, when like the coronavirus happens, you're semi-prepared because you've already been introduced to those chemicals And now the coronavirus vaccine is being made. That's a bunch of mixed chemicals, but it's already been out and about, and you have already been given some of those inoculations in preparation for this, because Esau is a mad scientist. You know, that's how you get people to say, well, he's not that bad. Right? So why wouldn't he be that bad? Even though he injected us with all kinds of chemicals that we don't need and that shouldn't be in our body. In preparation for chemical warfare, even though they have something called a Geneva Convention. I don't know if it's Geneva Convention that states no biological warfare, or it must be that one or something else. But that's why they give you inoculations. That's why the World Health Organization is going over there to China, so they can clean up their mess. And I'm not saying that you should take these, because I don't get the immunizations anymore. I opt out of it. But you know, there's the TB test to make sure you don't got tuberculosis, because all those diseases come back when people don't take care of themselves. So they give you the shot, and then you start eating shitty because you think those shots are gonna take care of you. And you start eating burgers from McDonald's and shit, and your diet's bad, and you got high cholesterol, so you're getting sick. Now you get tuberculosis in a different form other than the one introduced to you, and you're hella sick and you die. So the coronavirus is something like that. It is gonna affect everybody's. Gonna get sick if you get it, right? Because it's already here. Shit, I might even have it right now. But it is what it is. And then I pray, and then you drink your teas. You detoxify yourself. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. And then you're not eating garbage. Because you have to stay healthy by eating healthy. Eating greens, having a smoothie every now and then. I was having them every day, but man, time. So we're all in a world where Esau, the mad scientist, has got this all figured out. Giving you inoculation so that when he has something to worry about, like the coronavirus, his ass is covered. Well, I already gave you some preventive medicines. Man, this guy's funny. Well, and then the death rate. So now let's talk about the death rate. So they got 3,000, and I'm driving right now, so they got 3,000 recorded deaths from this coronavirus. That's worldwide, I suppose. And then 2 in the US. So those 2 people, we gotta take into consideration their age and their health factors. Even though we know Yahweh Shemi Yahushai passed judgment, like on that, they have this show on Netflix. It's episodes. It's like a season thing where this mom and this stepdad beat down this little boy and killed him. Well, that's judgment, because then they went to prison and then they got judged. So judgment all around. This coronavirus is a judgment. It was sent out. And that's why Esau's always going against. See, everything he does is against the Lord. Vaccines are against the Lord. His taxes are against the Lord. Even his military. That's why he has it. That's why the dragon has it. And this new, it's not new, but it's a new form of coronavirus. Because Lysol kills it. So just, keep using hand sanitizer. Don't touch your face. A whole lot. And drink a lot of water. Because the funny thing is, in China, and then in China, Wuhan, where it started, I was watching this one, I think it was a clip from RT News, and it looks like it was fake, right? But it was real. These Moabites were in white suits, and they had a fucking net. Well, this Moabite used the fucking net to trap this other Moabite that didn't have any protective gear on. And I guess he was sick, and they were trying to quarantine his ass, and they fucking used that net to almost choke his ass. And it was like, man, like the Flying Guillotine. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. They trapped his ass up, and then they got him. So this shit is real. It's real scary too. Disease all over the place. And I had a comment on my YouTube, what's going to happen to the people in Brazil with the mosquitoes and the dengue. And I told her to just pray to the real Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's all we could do. That's all we could do. So I'm here, my destination. Please excuse a little cold feeling, but it is what it is. And peace and health to the brothers out there pushing the truth in all sincerity. Shalom.